Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live show. I'm Bob. This is Randall over here, better
It's
known
me.
as the greatest show on earth.
Da-da-da-da-da. As long as I don't show too much, that's all that matters. I don't want to see all that. So, good afternoon, everybody. Great to see everybody. TGIM again. Can you believe it's Monday already? These weeks just seem to go by quicker and quicker all the time. I mean, I look forward to Monday afternoons, but man, they go by fast these
They
weeks.
do. They
Hope
do. They
everybody
really,
had a
really, really do.
hope everybody had a
Randy,
wonderful.
it's been a busy week, man, and when you're busy, time does fly. So if
Hope everybody had a
I know
wonderful
you.
Mother's Day out there. What do you think? You were good to mom. Everybody's good to mom. I
Boy,
hope.
I sure hope so. Wouldn't want to be in the doghouse with mom, would you?
No, no,
Not
no, no,
nobody.
no.
Yeah,
Not at
we
all.
took some time out, went out to the cemetery and put flowers on my mother's grave and my mother-in-law, my wife's Carol's mother's grave, and spent a little bit of time out there. It always makes the soul feel good to go out
Yeah.
and do something like that. So, and it's been busy here, busy here for sure. And I know you've been busy. You was helping fix up a friend's
Yeah,
place around
well,
the corner.
man, it's fun remodeling, kind of working on a house. It really is. It just kind of makes you feel good. It's like that's the way it looked. Wow, this is the way it looks now. It's a lot of fun. It become real rewarding. It's such a beautiful day today in the 80s. It was nice working out in the carport, so it was great out there today. And even yesterday was we were up in the 70s yesterday. Everybody came over for Mother's Day, the daughters and the grandsons, and so we spent Mother's Day like that, celebrating. And but it was such a beautiful day. We were out in my little Florida room most of the day, just chit chatting. And man, it's nice to get outside. Just love this summer starting weather up in Michigan.
Yeah, you guys, 6, 8 weeks behind what we've been getting down here mainly as far as the temperatures and stuff, but that's the nature of the game. But
Yeah.
it is so gratifying to see the end results when you're doing projects like that. Just one footnote, Randy. Don't reach over and grab a metal tool that's been sitting on a hot tin roof.
I grabbed that saw today and it was sitting in the sun for a little while. I was like, wow, that got hot. But yeah,
Put
if you're on a tin roof, man, that's burning. That's burning. Wow.
let go of that
How's
dude
the
quick.
siding doing anyway? How's the siding going on in the house? You getting the
Can you
siding done?
imagine down here in the south when we get 110 and 115 and the heat index and I mean, that's kind of the way it is when you touch your own skin in the summertime here. But yeah,
That
it's
cooks something. That cook it quick.
quick footnote for sure. All right, well, the weather here today is about 78 degrees. It's been cloudy all week. We've had rain 3 out of 4 days, inch and a half yesterday, another 4.5 inches the day before that. So 6 inches in the last handful of days. And it
Wow.
is insane, man. It's insane. Everything is so soaked. Uh, I guess like you mentioned last week, we'll be wishing for rain here in a few months. But right
Yeah,
now,
that's
just
crazy.
let's spread it out a little bit. Let's not have it all at one
All
time.
at once. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
did a driveway, and I thought I had long enough for the concrete to dry the deck area. But no, last week it didn't. It rained, and so I had to repaint it because it just wasn't dry enough from the rain. So,
yeah.
oh well,
The
that's life.
struggles of a handyman.
Hey, it's keeping me somewhat out of trouble. So,
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's a new segment that we should do.
yeah, how to
I've
keep
been
yourself out of trouble.
trying for a while to do handyman work on my house and making very slow progress with everything that goes on. But that might be a new segment: struggles of the handyman.
And once I get back to doing shows, start Memorial Weekend, it'll be then I'll be busy, and
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
I'll stay out of trouble that way.
Well, hope you'll get back to doing your
Man,
shows
can't
that you
can't
love to do
wait.
so much. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Well, let's say hi to some folks. We got a
Man,
fantastic group
that a
joining
great
us today already.
man.
Got Melissa Lynn. Hello, Santa Mel, our favorite sister. We love you, girl.
Charlie Johnson, Santa Doug's here. Ernie's
Another
here.
favorite,
Sal.
Sean White, another favorite. Another favorite. Rex Ray, Charlie Johnson, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. Got
Randy's here. That
Sal.
Randy, not this Randy. That Randy's here. Randy Neely's here,
Yeah.
and Kevin,
Patrick
and
Moss.
man,
uh,
fantastic
Sa-
guys.
Santa Doug is joining us. Ernie.
Of course,
Uh,
AJ.
Bill Gorbett. Yeah. Carl White. What's that, Angie?
Jamie Dozier, Santa.
Are they on YouTube? Oh, okay. Well, that's what's weird about this whole deal. She sees things I don't. It comes in over. Of course, she is the admin, so it would only make sense that she sees it first. But
Carl White, Joe Steffen, Jeff Verba, and Dana
Dana.
Cristola.
yeah, she's got
My
it all going
goodness,
on.
great to see everybody. Fantastic to see everybody.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you, folks.
And
Lovely
did we
to
get
see you.
AJ, yeah, we said AJ. Randy did. Okay, now they pop up on my screen. So, there's a 10, 15-second delay from her to me and probably even on that. I noticed last week someone was saying on a Tuesday show that they were watching on YouTube and how crazy it was that there was such a delay. So for each platform that we push through, from StreamYard to YouTube to Facebook, there's a little bit of a delay between them, and none of them are synced. So struggles.
Thank you for being here, folks. That's really
Stay-
you folks make the show. You really do. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Let me see, what does Doug say here? Hang on, Doug. We're coming back to your comment.
Just question from the guys.
That is a good question, Doug. I'm not sure that I haven't checked, but it does seem like it's about this time of year when registration opens for Santa Family Reunion. Santa Mel's on with us. Maybe she can give us a little insight on that. I know that she has been watching over there on the website some here recently, so maybe she can fill us in. Or again, go over to SantaFamilyReunion.com and I'm sure it's there too. See if we can get you an answer on it, Doug. All right, Randy, are you ready to let's go ahead and get into our hot topics for the day? Got a couple of great hot topics as usual. Can't wait to get started on that. So let's do that next. All right, Randy, as always, you've got the floor first, my friend. Go with this question.
Right.
So the guys.
Alrighty, guys. This question probably is more for people that do like big box stores or malls or corporate events where you've got a long line and things like that. How do you handle a parent and a child that comes up real fast? They just run up and drops the child off on your lap while the child's kicking and just not happy to be there. How do you handle the child and the parent? Because there's two different things to handle on that. And it's usually if you're doing a home visit, that doesn't happen. But if they're waiting in line for a picture and here, and boom, they just set the kid down and child down and run away, and they're screaming and kicking. How do you handle it with the parent? And how do you handle that with the child?
Boy, do I see a lot of this.
It's crazy how many and the worst thing is the little ones they don't even let you get a chance to hold them, get a hold of them. It's like, wait a minute, I don't want them to fall. So yeah, it happens more often than not, and I'm just kind of
that's it. That's the only time that I have really come close to remotely
dropping a child.
Dropping a child. And that's when they just let go before you even get your hands on them good. I mean, let me secure that baby or that child, that toddler before you let go. And so I've got now where I'm really trying to be as quick as I can and grab them in the proper place and set them down as quick as I can. Now the kicking toddlers up to the preschoolers and even those first and second graders sometimes are not liking Santa at times when they come. Mom's making them come and going to make them sit there and take a picture and it can really kind of get to the point that if you've done it for a year or two, you can tell before the child makes 15 steps towards you that they're apprehensive. that they're not really ready. They're not sure. You try your best to warm them up and speak to them from a distance and be nice and kind and do all the things that we've been trained to do. Sometimes they're still just not going to do it.
Yeah, they're just
And I have come home with bruises here, bruises on my shins, even cuts on my shins where kids have kicked and used their head as a battering ram, beating against my chest. That was my first year. My second year, I took a whole different approach. If they start that as soon as I grab them, I set them down on the floor. I'm not going to stand there and be abused just for a picture. I know that's what my job is, to entertain, to find out their Christmas wishes and get a photo for mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whatever. But there's different approaches, so you have to kind of step back, slow down, try not to force it. If you have to get down on the floor and sit with the child, which I slid right out of my chair and got right down there with them before,
yep.
we'll take an ornament off the Christmas tree and use it as a ball and roll it or play pitch with it. They're plastic ornaments, so don't have any problem there with that. But there's many different ways to approach a child that doesn't want to be there. And then
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you're not going to win. I don't care who you are, or how good you are. There's always that one that's just not going to give in no matter what. So try to get them to stand out in front of you. Uh, Put them in a chair, walk around, come back in from behind, step to the side. There's many different ways to try to get that picture when it's time for the picture. My first couple of years, I had a rocking horse. It was a really cool little rocking horse. Tom Cormega turned me on to these rocking horses, and you can push its ear and its head moves, and it shakes its tail and it whinnies, and
wow.
it's really, really, really cool little rocking horse. And I would have it. The entryway would be to one side of my chair, and I would have it all the way over here on the far side of the set from me underneath the Christmas tree. And the children would go zoom right on past me and straight to that rocking horse. Well, it worked great for doing things like, okay, they're on the horse, mama, grab them, pull them over in front of Santa's chair, and let's get a picture. And Santa sits behind them, and they're on the rocking horse in front. But the second you get right over close to Santa, they hop off. They don't want to have nothing to do with it. So, again, you're not always going to win.
Yeah,
How do
that's
you handle the situation, Randy?
it's I never want to be the Santa that has the vice grips on the child that you just gotta lock your hands around, and I just will never do that. I will let the child slide down and then take the soft approach to talk. Um, and I wish there was ways, and maybe our people, and I haven't done it yet, to say something to the parents about dropping the child off. Because they're back there, they want to get their pictures, so they drop the child off and run back, get their camera ready. So it's kind of, and so we don't want to get out of character and say something to the parent. At least that's why I haven't said anything to the parent yet, because of that. Um, it's more about the child, making sure that we can get the picture with the child, or to stop crying or whatever. So yeah, I will not hold the child even if the parent want. I will hold tight vice grip, uh, uh, and put them down. And same with you, Bob. I will get on the floor. It makes it easier with a new hip a couple years ago, but yeah, I mean, same thing. Let them sit in the chair. Surprising how many little ones love sitting in Santa's chair, and they're fine. You can just stand, you stand next to it. It's still a great picture. So, but it's the parents that I guess that concern me the most, that think that that's okay to drop and run. So
Well, and it's not Santa's place to say anything to the parent.
no, that's why I
That's
never
not
have.
our job. That's not what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, again, a lot of times I found something that does work is ask mom or grandma or dad, sit in a chair with the child and kind of get comfortable. Here's a storybook. Sit down. I'm going to stand over here and I'll try to slide into the side of the picture, lean
Mhm.
over, stand behind, or different ways of getting in the picture. First thing, what do they say? Oh, I wasn't prepared to get the picture today. I'm not dressed.
Yeah, it always gets that they want to force the children to get the picture, but they don't want to get their picture taken. And I say, oh, family pictures are just so many wonderful memories. Come on, it's a once in a lifetime family picture. You're all here, do a family picture. And sometimes you can talk them into it, but a lot of parents, nope, I'm not dressed for it, or I'm not. Well, and they just want the picture with the child. That I understand that, but some, like you said, sometimes the children just aren't into it, regardless how excited they are in line. That 10, 15 feet of distance makes things a lot better than being right there.
Oh, they'll wave and carry on and
Yeah.
everything as long as they're out away from you. But the closer they get, the more they lean back and the heels start dragging. But there are a couple of cases where I found where you kind of put it back on the parents by saying, I know these pictures are for you now, but someday these pictures are going to mean something to the children as they grow up. And, once you get into your 20s and 30s and the sense of family becomes more important to you, these children will look back on these pictures with you and her or him in the chair and cherish these pictures, especially once we've all moved on and the child is left with nothing but memories and photos.
Yeah, it's why
Well, a
it's
lot of
great to get
times parents
families.
will pull that purse off and start doing themselves up and they'll sit down there, it kind of convinces them that there's more than one thought
Yeah.
process going into getting the photos. But last case scenario, Randy, if the parent is dead set on me grabbing the child and holding them, kicking, screaming, whatever, I'll say to my photographer, ready? One snap, we're done.
Yeah.
I put my arms around them, lock their feet in between my knees, snap,
Because man,
jump.
those heels sure hurt the shins. I tell you, those
That's where you
those
have to lock
heels.
those heels in, especially they got
Boy,
cowboy
boy,
boots
they
on. Little boys here like to wear cowboy boots. So,
oh boy, that's even worse.
yeah.
That's even
All right,
worse.
Randy. Well,
All
let's
righty,
go
let's
over
see
here
what we
and
got
see what
here.
everyone has to say today.
Yeah, let's see what Melissa. I think is we got the first one is Melissa. I talked to the
Looks like it.
parents nicely to say I don't do drive-by visits with Santa.
Love
Uh,
that.
I just get a chance to know the grown-ups, the children, child dictate what the action happens. And that's the thing is surprising how many parents think they know your job better than you know your job, how to how to tell if a child's ready or not. They know their child, of course, but how many hundreds of thousands of children eyes have we seen that we know that they're ready or not ready? So it's pretty much we can pick it out pretty easily sometimes if a child's going to do it or not.
All
Um,
too often.
yeah. So Santa Kevin says if a child is a walker, I set and let them down.
Yep.
And that's what you got to do. Charlie says I agree with what Mill said. Um, Rex, good to see you. The infamous drop and run. I can stop them on the way up. Whoops, I got to add to the thing there. I can stop them on the way up, and I just stand up and mention to the parents the old Santa needs a stretch. If they're you can see them ready for it. Whoops, get up real quick. Santa Doug, Mrs. Claus is a big help in the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what's great about elves and Mrs. Claus is they're like that buffer when it comes to that. Mrs. Claus is a big help. The field, but also has we have a small green rocking chair that we put the child in. We pull it out when needed to put the chair between us, and it's
Perfect.
surprising. That's what I like. I mean, I didn't like COVID with the boards and all that kind of super distance, but that bench saved or chair or whatever you had in front of you saved a lot of crying children. There was
It
sometimes you
did.
got less crying children because they weren't um, on your, which now we're saying knee and not lap. Um, but I was surprised you could get less apprehensive children because they just sit there and it's fine. You still get a good picture. You can still lean over. So I think that helped that part of it.
It did.
Uh,
It definitely did.
Ernie says, I usually can see this beforehand and I will engage the parent before that even occurred. I may tell mom or dad to stay and let me chat with them, the children first, and let them warm up. I even try to get a picture with the unconventional regular as an unconventional picture and also a regular picture.
That's
So
correct. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a posed photo. It can
no,
be get the parent stand on one side and get the child on the other, and get them to cross in front of the camera angle, and snap. You got one with the child running in front of Santa.
there's been
Uh,
many times you'll
there's
do
many
like
many
the
many ways of doing it.
hand to
Randy, I
camera
think.
thing. Go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead. I apologize.
I was just going to say, I think really in a child's mind, if you try to think like a child, when mom or dad brings and tries to put them in the chair with you or drop them, they think they're going to walk away because they turn and start to walk. And all the child sees is now they're with the stranger and mom and dad walking away.
Walking away.
And they think that they're leaving, the child there. Maybe like daycare, Santa daycare, who knows what really thoughts go through a child's head. But that was just a point I wanted to make. Go ahead. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you.
well, I apologize. I was butting in too. I would apologize. Like he was talking about unconventional pictures. You can't get them close enough. It's either you have a sticker or you have a candy cane, and you put it out. I reach it out, and then they come in and reach it, and then they take the picture of them getting. They're still close. It is the unconventional picture, but you still got a picture with Santa. There's plenty of ways to get that child closer. It's not the
Sometimes those
drop and run, which is a rough thing to do. Um, I don't like the
sometimes those
drop.
unconventional ones are the best though.
Yeah,
That's
they're
usually the one that the parents will get.
Um, Charlie Johnson says every instance usually needs a different handling, which is so true. There is no one solution for every kid or parent is different. Yeah, and that's an understatement. Is right, Charlie. Every child is every child is different because what Bob just said, you don't know what they're thinking. Mom walks away, dad walks away. What are they leaving me with this new guy? Are they am I supposed to stand here and smile? Am I supposed to run with them? So
I always
yeah,
tell them when they set them down, I always say, "Mom, stand right there, stand right over there, so the child can see you." And I'll tell the child, "Baby, they're not going anywhere. Mama's going to stand right there," and that helps a little bit.
yeah, they've got to see, and it's surprising when if they're taking pictures, somebody's taking a picture off way off to the side, so the child's looking there. No, can you move more center so the child looks straight out to everybody, and then
I
there's
had
3 4 cameras. Which one do you smile at? You know?
I had a new set manager this last year, and she took the approach of the parents going to the cash register, pull them out of sight, so that she could get the child's attention and get the picture, which it worked probably three-fourths of the time. We would reassure the child, mom and dad's only going to go stand back here. And that way they're not standing over hollering, Johnny, Johnny, over here. And the photographer, set manager was able to get the child's attention and get that picture. But a lot of times that didn't work either because, again, they think they're getting left. So
Yeah, yeah. That's they. There's a big I mean, I don't know how much stranger danger is still taught in school, but it still is. It still has got to feel different. I mean, we're a big character. Even if you're a big Santa or a small Santa, it's a big character that is something that sometimes concerns a lot of children they can't run up any faster, but um,
Well, and
yeah,
sometimes mom and dad or grandma uses Santa as the bad guy. You got not going to get
uh,
anything for Christmas if you don't straighten up, and take this picture, or you're going to get cold for Christmas, or you know, Santa's not going to bring you anything, not going to come see you. We're used as the bad guy sometimes, and that sticks in children's head too. They're coming to
it,
see a mean guy that
it is kind of interesting how a child sometimes can't smile for 2 seconds to get a picture sometimes, or if it's even a 10, 12-year old, 15-year-old, or whatever that can, they just won't. It'll be over quicker if you just smile real quick. You'll be
I,
out shopping, getting something from the food court
I
by
tell them
now
that
if
all
you
the
would have
time.
just smiled. But
I
oh,
tell them that
it's
all the time.
it's like Charlie said,
And
they're all
we got
different.
a cookie store within sight of us, just on the other side of the escalators. And mom and dad will always say, "Well, we'll go get a cookie after this," or "We'll go upstairs and get an ice cream." If you'll just sit here and smile, and sometimes that works, but very seldom does it work. I mean, when a child gets it set in their mind and gets into a particular mood, it is really hard to get them out of that. And I tell them, "Hey, we could have been done. You could have done got your cookie by now. Just sit there and smile. All Mama wants for Christmas is one picture of you smiling with Santa, please."
Yeah, boy. Alrighty, next one is Sean. When I'm working with Santa, we will let the parent hold the crying child, and we stand on both sides of the pictures. Uh, can be taken. Other times, I will hold a child to calm them down while Santa steps up behind me, and pictures are taken. Refuses to traumatize. Tr-
I don't like traumatizing because you know what?
Traumatizing
That
a
sticks in
child.
their mind next year and a year after that, sometimes 3 or 4 years after that, they remember that experience. So it ruins them not only for that season, but for seasons to come because they're traumatized by it.
Yeah, we don't want to be the bad guy. We don't want to be the one that makes them cry. We don't want to be the one that's what they remember. Um, um, yeah, they don't. But see, what we got here. It says video has ended, whatever that means. Um, Parker says Odell says, how would you how would you do it if how would you do it in a sensory friendly event? Sensory friendly is so much softer, so much quieter, so much more. There's not that you don't hear the loud bells, you don't hear the big ho ho ho. It's very, very, very relaxed, very soft. There's even sometimes that some of the malls or whatever will turn the lights halfway down. They won't even have the tree lights on. It depends on how big of an event they have for sensory
Mhm.
children. Um, so that's a far different. And for them crying, that you still have to just try to talk as sweet, at least that I've just try to talk as sweet and soft as you possibly can to build that. It's kind of like building a trust, that you're okay, that you're nice. um,
Yeah, our sensory morning's on a Sunday, 2 hours prior to the mall opening because a lot of your store employees start getting there ahead of time to get opened up. So we try to have it done before anyone enters the mall. The mall is actually still locked down at that point, and if they sign up for Sensory Sunday, they have to go to the main entrance, and a security guard escorts them to our set. And again, no sound, no lights. I take my bells off. I ask the parents beforehand as they're coming in if their child has any special needs or sensory problems, noise, and that way I'm kind of prepared before they get to the chair.
yeah, that's a totally different um, uh, setup. And like I said, so many places and malls and even the big box stores are setting time aside. They know exactly what's got to be done, and there's usually extra help at that time.
There
um,
is.
so which really really works. Park Odell also says, I tell the parents that I'm not a member of Circus Soleil. I'm not a juggler. I'm a toy maker.
Great point, Parker.
Yes,
Mitch
sir.
Allen wants to say hi to everyone. Hire Santa is joining us today. Hello, Mitch.
Mitch, good to see you, Mitch. I'm trying to see if I get anybody. That's one's there. Uh,
Deborah Kaiser's on. She says hello.
Jamie Dozer says, Mrs. Claus and I like to use snowballs and Squeaky the Christmas pig.
Yeah, the
It's
Christmas squeaky toys are great. Either the squawking chicken or the squeaky pig.
anything to soften and to get them giggling and to feel more that you're okay. Um,
Yeah.
so Mrs. Claus is a great help. This is from Jamie Dozer again. Mrs. Claus is a great help. Sometimes they'd rather take a picture with Mrs. Claus. Wow, look at that. Now that's the Christmas pig.
Tell them the pig is laughing at them.
uh, uh, And Rexway says, actually, at my big box store, I have a bench for everyone to sit on to the right and in front of me, prevents most adults from doing the drop and run, which is much better. Like I said, it's COVID. They really can't do that. Of course, babies hope they don't drop and run with babies. Um,
Yeah.
Babies I hold, everyone else, I ask if they would sit on the bench or on my knee. And I like the way that's at Santa Ana U. They said Santa come up and sit on my knee, not on my lap. Uh,
Yes,
it
that's
sounds
absolutely.
it
Gordon started making that point right
yeah
after I met him, and
it
it was something
sounds
he was adamant about. Mel, you know what? Burnt biscuits is only good if you soak them in coffee.
well. Mitch Allen says he didn't like burnt biscuits.
They're only good if you soak them in coffee. I can remember my great grandmother would open them up and sprinkle a little sugar, put butter in them, and sprinkle a little sugar on them, and then pour her coffee around the edge of the saucer, and it would soak into the biscuits, and it didn't matter if this burned or not; they were still good.
Man, oh man, I burnt biscuits.
Mo
Yeah,
folk.
that's a South thing, I guess. I don't know. We don't have many biscuits up here. I don't. It's not biscuits and gravy, which very seldom happens, which is sad because it's so yummy.
It's a staple down here.
Yeah, it's so yummy. Jamie Dozer again says, I have a photographer that has a camera looking at the families, trying to get the child to smile. It makes great photos, especially if they don't see the camera. And sometimes the children they just want to be themselves without smile, 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 look, smile, 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 look. And that's sometimes it's easier for them to be themselves without being forced. And if you've got a hidden camera and then you're just chit chatting, boy, those candid pictures um, are real nice.
They
Um,
are, but there's a lot of pressure on a little one when he comes to see Santa. Sit up straight, sit on Santa's knee, smile, look at the camera. Don't get your finger out of your nose. Johnny, stop picking your nose. Did you tell Santa what you want for Christmas? Hey, Johnny, tell Santa what you want for Christmas.
that's too many things. That's too many things. Then and it's like, oh,
Close their mind.
on and on for the little ones. Yeah. Hey, Spangle's in the house.
All
Hey,
right.
all. I want to know how Randall said to Mitch, it was nice seeing him when I'm the only one seeing Bob and Randall. I know it's that weird vision in my head, Spangle, of Mitch in that bunny outfit. Still, sorry, I can't get that vision out of my head.
Or the sneakers outfit. That's the one
Yeah,
I can't get out.
sorry, Mitch. That's the way it goes. And
Hey,
if you
brother.
if you would have lost that bet for Valentine's Day a couple years ago, that'd have been another visual we wouldn't have. Well, actually, you did lose that bet, but we let it go.
Yeah, we
But
love you
that would have been
anyway.
another visual we couldn't have gotten out of the head. So that's something I couldn't have unseen, Spangle. So that would have been in your head too. So
Love you anyway. It doesn't matter
yeah,
then.
glad you're all here. Thank you guys. Man, great input. As always, incredible input. So many, like I said, just the knowledge and the talent and the um it just blows my mind. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, dude, Mel's going to cook you burnt biscuits.
Good. I Mel, you have to cook them because I've never had burnt biscuits, especially with coffee. So if that's the way you do them,
That's the way my great grandmother had it almost every morning. She would just take, like I say, and open up those biscuits, put butter on them, and sprinkle a little sugar across top of them, and let them sit there, and the butter melt in, and then pour the coffee around the outer edge, and it would just kind of roll in and soak into the bottom. And
Or she's gonna make you biscuits and gravy and she'll try not to burn them.
she says she's going to make you biscuits and gravy, and she'll try not to burn them.
okay. Now, is it really burnt biscuits? Do you really make them like
Not
open?
on purpose, no. That was just a figure of speech that she was using, and I ran with it because I thought it was funny, and it reminded me of my great grandmother
Gotcha,
Estelle.
gotcha.
So Deborah Kaiser says, "Do you always carry stickers and pass them out?" That's another good way to break that edge with children.
There's so many good giveaways now that you don't. It doesn't have to be candy canes because it's not always a good thing to give out candy cane. And even though it's traditional, between stickers and I like to give out like these medals. It's I don't know. Oh, here, yeah, I got some right here. I keep these with me quite a bit. Just little, they're a little. The children love putting them on their on their neck. I mean, it's just they just go there and they're just as happy as can be when they got one of those. They get tangled up a lot. That's the only problem with them. But um, Spangle's got a zillion different things to buy for giveaways. So
Does
the coins are great. How can you not? And what's good about the coins is next week, not this week, I was going to teach you how to do a a quick production of a coin, so you don't just have to just pass out the coin. So you can do a little magic to make the coin
there you
appear
go.
and
Preview of
everything
what's
else.
coming up.
So you can do more than just here. You've been a good boy or girl. You met Santa today. You can make it, produce it from their ear or whatever. It would be at one little more magical level of Santa or Mrs. Claus or an elf. It doesn't really matter. You're all holiday performers, so you all can do the same thing. You're all wishing them a great holiday season and bringing smiles, and that's what we got to do.
Yep.
We
Yep,
got
for
to
sure.
do that.
Okay, Randy, are you ready to move along here?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Rambling as usual.
Fantastic segment right there, as always. Let's jump into this next one. Now, this one, again, I've kind of on the last few weeks or so had this thing going on in my head. How can I ask a different but provocative answer without getting too personal, right? So on this particular question, if you give me in a scenario or whatever, just don't mention any names. Keep it general in your grievance. And when I say grievance, this is kind of something that I know we've all, as close we don't verbally say things, but a lot of times we think it in our mind. It's okay to think it, just don't say it about your tongue. What one or two things that another clause does that just really gets under your skin, but would never accost them because number one, it's not clause like, or because not wanting to get called out by others for being confrontational and stirring up unnecessary drama or trouble when you could simply hold your tongue. I know there's
Well,
things that certain folks do that you'll say, boy, that's something I would never do as Santa, or I would never do that as Mrs. Claus. What are they thinking? Right? So that's just kind of one of those scenarios. Have you ever run across a situation where you just wished you could call that person out? And I know politics is one. That's one that really comes to mind a lot. There are some political clauses out there, and they let their affiliation be known in a heartbeat, and don't think two things about it. But as Randy has mentioned time and time again, your clients, and especially, and Mitch Allen can attest to this, the agents, if you're looking to get employment through one of the agencies like Hire Santa, they're going to look at your social media. They're going to do background. They're going to look at you and see what your character is before they place you or decide to even hire you at all. So think twice before you go out there and be ugly to another clause, which we see a lot. Guys snapping at other guys because they say one thing and they disagree with them, and next thing you know, you got a clause battle going on back and forth with words. So be careful. It could come back to bite you.
yeah, I guess one that bothers me the most is has nothing to do with performing, has nothing to do with in front of the child, is when another holiday entertainer complains about something going on, but really won't do anything about it, won't get involved. You know, um, uh, it's something that you can. There was a fairly recent event that somebody got opinionated, very opinionated about something, but it's like, well, then join in to try to make a change. No, 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 it's all rigged. I can't get in. I can't be picked because it's all rigged. So it's like, no, it's so those are the things that you want to just those things bother. It's not very clause like. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about in something in my segment today about also being, keeping that clause like and uh, those things probably. But you don't want to confront too much because, like you said, you don't want to make a scene and make a big um, confrontation on it. But
Well,
someone that
and
that
that's the whole idea behind my question is to show folks that there's other ways of getting the job done without being confrontational. If it's to the point that it's detrimental to the Claus community or to the image of Santa and Mrs. Claus, then maybe you can find an approach that will not ruffle the feathers of the other person and make them see that it's not Claus like, it's not Christ like, it's not even human like to be to carry so much animosity for certain things that really doesn't amount to a hill of beans. And sometimes these arguments that you see on social media really don't amount to a hill of beans. They're
yeah,
irrelevant in so many ways. But be kind, be nice, try to build your fellow man up, not tear him down. And that's where my pretense for this question came from.
yeah, because if it's you can't just complain about it and not try to help, and that's where it's If you got a problem, talk about it. Try to help or do something, or just um, we.
Educate in a nice way.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then if that
we're.
approach doesn't work, then walk away from it because it's not. Pick your battles. It's not worth anything that might repercussions that might come later on if you try to force the issue. Melissa Lynn says, telling children to behave in the chair or they won't bring them anything. That's a good one, Mel. And we've seen that happen. I know many of you saw, it's been 2 or 3 seasons ago, where the little boy asked for the toy gun and the Santa refused to bring him a gun of any sort. The mother got involved, the news media got involved, and that Santa was removed from the chair and haven't heard anything out of him since. So evidently he faded away into the sunset.
I think you missed one.
I did.
Yeah, from Jamie Dozier.
From who?
Jamie Dozier.
Yeah, about smoking before an event that bothers him.
Oh yeah. That's definitely the truth, Santa. Jamie, I don't care what you put on, even cologne will not cover it up. You'll still smell it, and that's just not a good look for Santa. I mean, I understand that we all have vices, and you know, nicotine is one of the most addictive drugs on, if you want to call it a drug or addictive thing out there. It's really hard to break that habit, but it's not a good look. You're right, Jamie.
You can't do it. I mean, it the smoke just connects to that fur so quickly. It always shocks me when you get children next to you and they smell like smoke. I kind of wonder how much smoking is in the house because they are just like, whew, there's some children you'll get, and that'll be
Uh,
they.
this-
So if you can smell the smoke on a child and you smoke as Santa, you definitely will. Other people will smell it on you. So I know it's like Bob said, it's very addicting, but oh, somehow.
with the change of the laws and the change that society has taken in recent years, I am blown away by how many children and parents reek of marijuana when they come in to see Santa.
Uh, you
More
you
and
you get a
more
contact buzz just because of that many sometimes. I mean, how bad it is.
every year,
It's
more and more.
outrageous. It's outrageous.
That's a big one for me. I mean, what you do as an adult, that's your choice.
That's yeah.
Smoking in the car, my mother was a smoker, my grandmother was a smoker, my dad smoked cigars. They smoked in the car when I was young. You just, I mean, that's just something that's not good. It's not accepted the way it was at one time. Times have changed, but especially marijuana. Crazy. Parker says making money with licensed characters. I don't want a long cease and deceased letter and a big fine. That's true, boy. That's one you really got to watch out for because without mentioning any names, but the big characters, the big characters, they'll come after you in a heartbeat.
Oh, oh my goodness. I know this is crazy. That company with the guy with the round ears.
Yeah.
Many years ago, I was doing a thing for Disney Radio, and had to make a flubber balloon when the movie Flubber came out with Robin Williams, and they wanted me to because they had to approve it because I was doing a local here in Detroit, and they wanted me to send a balloon down to Orlando to get it approved. How am I going to send a balloon packaged, make it from Detroit to Orlando for them to get it approved? It was crazy, but I had to take pictures of every side. They did approve it that way, but yeah, you can't take the chance of any of that stuff.
It is
Don't.
not
It's not
worth it.
worth it.
If in doubt, do your research. Number one, make sure that there's not intellectual property or copyright or even trademark infringements in question. And if you're still in doubt, don't.
Don't.
Uh,
Yeah,
famous man that's high up in office right now says just don't.
just don't.
Spangle says talking about other Santas in your market. That is very true, Spangle, because again, those guys are the folks that you will be around if you do eating meets or if you have gatherings, local gatherings, or even if you end up at say for instance an outdoor event somewhere and you happen to cross paths. That would not be a good scene in public. if one got wind that the other was saying something that they didn't like, and next thing you know, you got a confrontation going on. Uh, Santa Mel, great point. Being so fake, it's unreal. Being rude or inappropriate. Terry Webb says stabbing. Santa Doug says, I think North Pole Radio's past episode on chewing out our clothing designers for not having our orders fast enough. These people work really hard to make us look good, and we need to be patient and loving. I saw that, Doug, and yeah, that was a little inappropriate. I think now anything like that, guys, just remember we have private messages in Messenger, either text on the phone and or in Facebook, and you got emails. All else fails, pick up the phone and call the person and be as kind and gentle as you can. But I mean, again, you don't know what the person on the other end, that clothes designer, is going through, what problems they may have had, if they made a blunder and have to go back and fix it, if they're having trouble getting fur or a certain material, or their machine broke down. You just don't know. Blasting them on social media does no good for anyone.
Do it in private. I mean, really do all like Bob says. Text, phone, email. Do it in private. Your grievance with the person. Don't
Yeah.
don't put. I mean, it might just be a one problem that like I said, Bob said, the machine might be down for a little bit and it runs a little later, and everybody else then gets the negative, hearing all that negativity, and it hurts everybody. It's so
This
do it private.
particular post that he's talking about, this person's waiting 9 months for and I don't think it was actually a seamstress. The one I'm thinking of was directed towards someone else in the community, but it'd been 9 months they had been waiting for their product and hadn't gotten it yet. But they had seen where other folks that had came behind them had already received their stuff and they hadn't, and that was part of the grievance of one of them that I saw. There was a couple, that was one of them.
Hmm.
Melissa Lynn says promoting himself in front of another holiday performer. That is a no-no by far. Um, that's being self-centered, arrogant. It's detrimental to everybody. Parker says some Santas brag too much on their accomplishments, like the Hall of Fame inductions. Don't do it for glory. That is quite a milestone to be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. But again, too much of anything is too much. I don't care what it is. Too much ice cream is too much. Too many cookies is too many. So Ernie says any performer that makes any kind of offbeat comments or tries to say what's right or wrong, stop tearing each other down and start building each other up. My sentiments exactly, Ernie. That's one of my favorites. Ho ho ho, help. Oi, help others, help often. Yes, build your fellow man up. Don't tear him down. What good does it do to tear him down? If it's because you're making yourself feel better, then brother, sister, go look in the mirror. Well, I almost said something ugly there, didn't I? A dirty word. Just go look in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean that's just, uh, what is it helping you? Does it make you feel better by tearing somebody down?
Makes you
Um,
look bad.
yeah, just I mean, take that time then if you want to help or critique, not criticize, critique, and then help or tell them sorry. But that's yeah, so many people they gotta put themselves here to keep you there because they want to always be here. Um,
Yeah,
uh, or
that one hits home a time or two that I can think of, where I've just shook my head and said, "Boy, that guy's got a lot to learn." Terry Webb says their story is always better. Now, there's no harm in trying to share your point of view or help the next guy with a better scenario, or a scenario and there's no wrong answers. Let's say that first. There's no wrong answers, but to try to help a guy see a different perspective for something. But when you just flat stand there and want to argue the fact that no, the way I do it is the best, that's, I think, Terry's point. Uh, Deborah Kaiser says always carry breath mints. That's true. Breath mints do work, and I do keep Altoids, a can with me. and I hit them often because last thing you want is bad breath. You're close contact with people in a chair, not only adults but the children, people that may walk up along the rail. If you're at a corporate event, people are wanting to shake your hand, talk to you. If you're walking down the street and someone recognizes you as Santa, they want a picture with you. It's always good to have the breath mints in there, but that will not cover up smoke.
No, that's in
Uh,
your fur,
there is only
in
one
your
thing that
beard.
I remember from years and years and years and years ago that was promoted called Ozium. You ever heard of Ozium? It was a spray, and it neutralized everything in the air, and it would
Wow.
actually cover up a lot of things that normally even heavy cologne or perfume wouldn't cover.
And don't over perfume. That's just their cologne. That's just
Makes me wheeze.
wow.
I'm allergic. I can't wear cologne anymore, and
Oh my
I get
goodness.
around
It's
someone that's got heavy cologne, or I give a little friendly hug to someone, and they're wearing a lot of it, and it gets in your beard. I'll wheeze. I start wheezing.
sometimes you
Dana,
can
go ahead,
people
Randy.
walking by. They walk by the set, and it's like just like a cloud that passes them with them. That's so much.
Okay, so my set at the mall, I'm right outside Dillard's door. My backdrop is to the back of the main entrance going into the lower level for Dillard's. All their perfume counters are in this branch of the end of the store, and they got those little pieces of paper, and they sit and spray this stuff all day long, passing it out to people, especially on the busy weekends and that last week before Christmas when the mall is elbow to elbow. Finding things laying on our plants, laying on the floor, laying on the camera box. People grab them. You see kids walking with them up to their nose, and I'll play like I say, "Let me smell," and they'll stick it up, and I'll play like I'm smelling. I go, "Choo! Wait, that stuff stinks." And they just laugh. They get a big kick out of it. But I have to breathe that stuff
Oh,
because the
yes.
air coming through their store comes into the general mall area, and it's just like you're perfumed all day long. So another pet peeve of mine. I wish they would cut back on those.
Dana's got a pet
Uh,
peeve also.
Dana says one of my peeves is Santa Mrs. Claus that come on all these different boards and say that they do not need any education. That is another great one, Dana. A lot of guys don't think they need education. What they don't know is what they don't know. They don't know. And they can
Yeah.
stand there and say they don't. They think uh, as an administrator on a lot of the groups, I've even had one recently that we had to block because of detrimental talk toward schools. And of course, I own Sat Bob's now that Gordon Bailey passed, and part owner in North Pole Cornerstones. And I have so many friends that's in the educational side of things, including our friends at MAPS, and uh, that's just to me that's just unacceptable. If you don't want to go, that's your choice.
Yep. For you to think that you don't need, even though you said I've been a Santa or Mrs. Claus for 20, 30 years, if you honestly think nothing has changed, nothing is new, that's your first mistake. I mean, it's just you'll always learn something. Something. And it's that just then oh well.
And I've had
That's
guys tell me that come to the class, been doing it 25 years. Wow, I learned something I didn't know, and I didn't think that could possibly happen. We had one guy that had never been to school, had been doing Santa for 20 something years, and he said he just never thought he needed it until he came. And he came to our Edmond class, and he just ranted and raved all weekend about how he couldn't believe he hadn't been to a school before then. Mel says, update. She just heard back from Sherry Heath. Registration will be opening up towards the end of May for Santa Family Reunion. There you go, Doug. Santa Allen. Mitch says, whoa, totally agree. Taking self too serious. Uh, Charlie Johnson, if you don't grow, i.e., continue your education, you become stagnant. Very, very good point. Very good point. Ernie says every week right here on the Bob Randall and Company Live Show. Thank you, Ernie. It's great for you to say that, and that is the purpose of the Monday show. Trying to educate, trying to help others. This segment especially And I know it's already 4 o'clock, Randy. Can you believe that?
Yeah, can you believe 2 questions? But you guys are
And
fantastic.
we're still talking about these subjects, but that's the
Yeah,
importance of these
that's
subjects. And I'm not going to cut short just because we've
no,
run
it's
long on
fantastic.
time. If
It's
everyone
yeah,
stays with us, we've got a good crowd today. This is very constructive for everyone.
yeah, it really is. It's
Bill Corbett says, learn something new every day. Hey, you get up every day with the pretense that you'll learn something that day. It's a good day.
and
Uh,
if you learn
had
something
to
not to do, that's even more important. Hey, look, I'm not doing that again. It doesn't have to be all you learned a new way to answer a question. It could be something, oh gosh, that's not popular anymore. I won't do that anymore. So it's not always so always learn something.
prime example. This is non-Santa related. Gordon Bailey's van. I inherited his van when he passed. The window regulator motor cables broke last week, and I had to have a new regulator motor put in it. My wife's brother has owned his own shop for 30, close to 40 years and recently retired a couple of years ago. But he said, I'll come over to your house and put one in for you. So he's out there and some really hard to get to nuts and bolts inside the door panel, which has limited holes for you to get your hands into. He takes a socket, he tears a piece of paper, stuffs it in the end of the socket, puts the nut in there. And that retains the nut from falling
It
out
holds it.
inside the door where you have to go digging
Okay.
for it. It acts like a magnet, but it's just a piece of paper. I looked at him and I said, all my years of working on cars and
Trying to
racing
get that
cars,
hand in there and
I
hold and
learned something new
oh,
today.
yeah,
A simple
that's why.
little piece of paper in a socket can hold the nut in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right, Mitch. See you later, buddy. Randy Neely says Santa schools are also a good tax write-off. Just heard from our CPA today. That's correct, Randy. And if you've got a good CPA, they can save you so much money on the deductions that you can take year in, year out, and they change from year to year. So always check from year to year and make sure that what might have been deductible last year may not be deductible this year, and vice versa.
You missed one.
Yeah,
What I
Derek.
miss.
Did
Derek,
Derek
okay.
Egan.
Hey, Derek, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you,
I
Derek.
think Santa needs to take a step back and check themselves. Learning never stops. That is so true, Derek. And that coming from a gentleman who loves to teach, loves to share, loves to design, and loves to be a mentor to all. And when Derek speaks, it carries volume. Thank you, Derek.
Yeah, that last line is priceless, Derek. Thank you.
Mhm.
That is never stop learning.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, Randy, it is 3:59, almost 4 o'clock. As I said, we spent an hour or so getting to this point. Let's go ahead and move along and let's get into santascloset.org trivia for today.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randall, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randall and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randall, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right, Randy, real quick. Jamie Dozier says, great show. Thank you for the flowers, Jamie. Appreciate that. Hope you're getting something out of it. Charlie Johnson says, really excellent questions today. Thank you, Charlie, again. George Smithers says, Santa compete against each other. Why are not in a competition? We are bringing memories and joy to children and families. Great point, George. Lots of hidden comments because it may seem offensive on this thread today. I was able to unhide one of them, but I cannot for the rest of them. There are several. Fantastic. That I didn't know. All right, Randy, let's go ahead and get into the question. You ready? This is a good one. This is going to be
This is
fun
good.
today.
Yeah, I love these questions, all these blanks, man. It's always fun reading the thing where you only have to read so many words. It's great. You just got to say the word blank a lot. It's a fun one. I love it. This one is, are you ready, guys? Here we go. What country in blank used a marketing strategy slogan blank, 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 blank to start a long running Christmas tradition? 50 years later, another company recognized the success and used the campaign slogan blank, 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 and added to the tradition. Wow. That's a lot of blanks, but
All
it's
blanks.
it's what country in blank used the marketing strategy slogan blank, 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 blank. That's 5 there to start a long running Christmas tradition. 50 years later, another company recognized the success and added and used the campaign slogan blank, 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 and added to the tradition. So you need what country, a year, the slogan, the next slogan, the next, I think, country, and
Company.
company.
Both companies.
Both
So you
companies. Yeah,
both
that's right.
slogans and both company names is what we're looking for. And there where we got a lot of blanks, I could use one blank, I guess. But by breaking it up, it kind of lets people know that they're in the right ballpark. If they run across the correct answer, they can fill it in. And hey, we all love filling in the blank at school.
Sure do.
Remember our achievement test was multiple choice, and that takes me back to my
I used to
childhood.
say some weird words though sometimes. I don't know. It didn't make sense sometimes. Wasn't it called what ad libs or they had those books where you just, you'd do a story and you'd say, okay, a color, purple,
Right.
add, say run, whatever, and you'd read it and you'd laugh.
Uh-huh.
Those are far better for me.
Yep. Fun, fun, fun. All right, guys. She's going to leave the question up on the bottom of the screen for a few moments and let you look through it and continue to work on that as you wish. Good luck. And we'll give the answer here in a bit. Now we're going to go ahead and move along to the Elfin Chatterbox News. Now, I guess the first thing that I want to mention today is I, as founder and director for the Texas State Santas, boy, this has been a busy year for me. And I apologize to all my members uh, that are in our fellowship group there. They have been asking and asking and asking for our eat and meet. Well, we get together and go out and have lunch, and I've been so busy I have neglected putting one together this year. Can't believe it's already the 5th month and we haven't gotten together yet. But I put one together this morning. I finally found an open weekend where it's feasible for me to put this together. I found a restaurant, went to the restaurant, talked to them. It's a place that we've been frequenting for quite some time. Excellent food, excellent prices. Well, you'll carry a box home and eat on it for 2 days. Anyway, Texas State Santas eat and meet. Let's get together for fellowship. It's going to be Saturday, 1 p.m., June 1st. That's June 1st, Saturday, 1 p.m. at Los Rancheros. The address is 10261 Ferguson Road, Dallas, Texas. That's in the Casa View Shopping Center. And I don't think anyone will be disappointed. Took Russell Hurd and Spangle and a few of the guys over there after Adolphus Lee Day's memorial service, and everyone was pleased with the food and the location and everything. So if you guys are interested in coming, reach out and give me an RSVP in either a private message or over on my Facebook page, or if you're a member of the Texas State Santas. And this is open to everyone, not just the Texas State Santas, but everyone in the Red Suit community. If you're uh, you know, have the means and the time, come by, join us for fellowship. Again, Los Rancheros, that's a Mexican Cafe, 10261 Ferguson Road, Dallas, Texas, Casview Shopping Center. All right, let me come back over here
Yeah,
to this page, get away from that page.
they're fun.
And
Those luncheons are just so much fun. You just a different. It's a different atmosphere when you just get together, your brothers and sisters around a table at a restaurant, chit chatting, and it could be about what you did last night mowing the lawn. It could be about a show. It could be about it's just that fellowship that brings um, it keeps us connected.
Connected. Yep, definitely does. Okay, as always, we want to mention School of Santa's 2024, Ransom, Missouri, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. And our drawing for that on the Tuesday Night Live show will be 6 weeks prior to uh, the actual event, and that will be coming up in a couple of weeks. So we've got a couple more weeks on the Tuesday Night Live show to get your name in the hat for that scholarship drawing. And we've got a big pool this year because we started right after Branson last July. So we got all of the second half of 2023 and the first half of 2024 in that pot for the drawing. So just to let everyone know that is coming up. And of course, this week, tomorrow night, our guest is Jeff McMullen, Kringle University, Santa, Mac, professional clown, magician, uh, university speaker, does
Hall of
does a little
Famer.
bit of does everything, a little bit of everything. Yes, Hall of Fame inductee. We'll talk about that on tomorrow night show. Going to be a excellent show, and I always love having Jeff on. Uh, One of the most humble men you'll ever meet, and we've got some really great stuff to talk about tomorrow night. Of course, it will be a lot about what he's going to speak about at School of Santa's. It's just kind of promotional for that, and join us tomorrow night for that. Now then, Randy, I know you've got some stuff coming up. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we've got some goodies coming up here at MAPS is sponsoring. The first weekend, actually the 30th and 31st of May is CPW2. It's for Christmas Performers Session 2. So it's the advanced class, the 30th and 31st in Clare, Michigan. Actually, which is cool, it's being done at the reindeer farm. So you're going to be in the barn and there'll be reindeer around, but that's actually what we've put together the last many years is Jingle Joy Weekend. So that rolls over to Saturday, a full day there. Bring your suit, get pictures with the reindeer. That's June 1st. There's lunch and everything else. There's crafts to do, and but that's June 1st by MAPS. And of course, then we have some things planned for early Sunday morning. But that's a Jingle Joy Weekend. But it's up in Clare, Michigan this year instead of where we're doing. It's still a Jingle Joy, but it's so cool. You get to get pictures with the reindeer. I mean, what a great setting. Then, of course, I will tell you starting after that, we'll tell you a little bit more of the lineup, the Red Suit Conclave coming up in August in Saginaw, where we've had it for the past 5-6 years. A great lineup of talent. So many, we've really changed some of the classes around, which will be a lot of fun to do that. A little bit more mix of classes. So that's the Red Suit Conclave coming up. Man, it's just great to see the brothers and sisters, especially that the Jingle Joy is free. Of course, the CPW is a pay. Red Suit is a free. Yes, it's free, just like here. It's a free one, just like here and Tuesday Night Live. It's all free. So we got to pay for hotel and food, but that's good. But man, there's so many things coming up on Tuesday Night Live that tomorrow's gonna be phenomenal. Check this out. I love this card. I was so shocked when I was at Santa Ana U and they were sitting on everybody's plate, everybody sitting. That was fantastic. Yeah.
These are compliments of Spangle the Clown and Jessica Rosa. Fantastic job by them.
Yeah.
Spangle is sending those out and everything that he mails out of his store, and we've had a lot of help with passing them out. When I met Spangle and Jetta last week, they gave me another bundle of them to have for my eating meat. So anyway, just the clowns community has become a full-time year-round adventure because there's so many classes, schools, prominent teachers, so much to learn, so many events to go to. Like I said, it's been a busy year already. It's kind of getting hard to find time to have fellowship where there's a weekend where there's not something going on already. Or for us here in the DFW area, we have some guys that are in cosplay and they've got events going on throughout the year. So if I'm trying to put an eating meet together, I kind of have to step outside the red suit community to see what else is going on that crossover some of our guys go and do. So it's been fun. It's been challenging, but we got one put together. So we'll talk more about that. Now let's get on into the upcoming shows. We mentioned May 14th, tomorrow night. Jeff McMullen, professional Santa, entertainer, clown, Kringle University. Uh, just, I mean, I can't say enough good things about Jeff. Tomorrow night, don't miss that. Now coming up the week after that, May 21st. This is a great one here too, Randy. This is one I've been excited about.
Yeah,
We
this
started
is
working on this one a couple of months back. This is thanks to our co-host for the night, along with me and Spangle, will be Deanna Golden. She has orchestrated and put this together. This is her baby, her child here. Many faces of Mrs. Claus. You know, we try to be all inclusive here. We try to bring in folks from every walk of the Claus community, from vendors to agents to those performing in different aspects. Many faces of Mrs. Claus TNL special presentation, co-hosted by Deanna Golden. We've got 5 ladies. We're probably going to end up with 6. She's working on someone else that are prominent in the Santa community. You all know them. You all cherish their work. That will be coming up and doing segments on the different aspects, the many faces of Mrs. Claus. That's going to be gold. All right, Randy, take it from there.
Alrighty, then the 28th. Yes, May 28th already. That's coming up. Is Megan Price from Gig Salad. She'll go from A to B, A to Z. Excuse me. On telling you all about Gig Salad and how much that's going to help benefit your holiday business. It benefits me yearly through my magic. I just don't do Santa on it, but I do magic like crazy on it. It could be free too, or you can do a pay thing, but it's a great thing. But she will tell you all about Gig Salad if you're not versed on Gig Salad. Megan does a great job, and it's a great thing to add to get more business. Then June 4th. Can you believe June? It'll be half the year will be over. I just hard to even think about that. Santa Doug and Diana Wright, where they were going to make home visits for show you how to make lasting memories for home visits. They're strictly going to talk to you about home visits, which can be I mean, the olden days, you walk in, ho, 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 sit down, presents, pictures and leave. That's long gone. This is it. They put an event together, and that's something that I think that's what I try to say is then they're going to you're selling yourself, not just Santa Mrs. Claus. You take that from a whole step up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And Doug and Diane has done a presentation for my Sat Bob's class here in North Texas the last 2 years. They do things that I've never seen done at home visits. The props they use, the way they incorporate those props, the storybooks that they use, the way they incorporate props into the stories, they can do anywhere from a 15-minute visit to a 2 to 3 hour visit and never stop. They are phenomenal. And making your home visit a lasting memory is going to be a fantastic show. Also, if you like doing home visits, you don't want to miss this one. You just don't. Also, real quick mention, Santa Doug Wright has now become an administrator with me and Angela Mack on the Texas State Santa group. So, guys, give him as much respect as you've always given me. Thank you so much. Okay, Randy, back to you. I'm sorry.
Right. And June, no problem. June 11th is Kimmy Claus, the Peppermint Stick Report, all about Mrs. Clauses, because there is such a big surgeons for Mrs. Clauses and the diverse people. There's a special night, of course. Men are included that night. Don't get worried. But her Facebook pages, her Peppermint Stick reports, and all that are for women only. And sometimes, like I was at Santa Ana U, we separated out the men and the women separated because women need to talk about certain things and men need to talk about certain things. So it's a kind of a private thing. But she's I know this always sounds that negative, but she's kind of infectious the way she gets you all wound up and everything, her smile and all that. So don't miss Kimmy on June 11th. Then June 18th, oh man, I get to see Phineas again and Santa David. Elf Phineas, which is Mike Hutchinson. Um, just what a great dynamic duo. Again, how great they play off each other, how much an elf helps Santa, how much the elf works alone. Phineas can do his own stuff. And of course, Santa does his own. But such a great combo. It doesn't always have to be Santa and Mrs. Claus. Um, just great performers. And that's the whole thing. We can learn more than just how to ho 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 or sing Rudolph, how to be a great performer. And these guys are performers, and that's what we are. We are performers. We are there to entertain the children and bring, like they're gonna do at the home visit, lasting memories. That, I mean, we want them to remember us forever. That and then, can you believe it? We're already talking about there's stuff going on in between, but July 16th is kind of a prequel to the School for Santa. Branson Live will be happening then. So they'll be talking about who's all going to be there, and you've probably already seen that anyway. But a little bit more involved about that. Show about the preview show for the week ahead. It's always a week of fun,
Right.
entertainment. I mean, it's just non-stop. I don't know how Spangle packs in everything from 2 days before almost to a day or so after. He just it just he just packs it
He
in.
knows how to throw a party.
Yeah, and besides, you're going to learn something. It's not just party time or vacation time. There's a lot of great presenters. So of
And
course,
time for fellowship. I mean,
yeah,
it's that's a total package there when you think
yeah,
about it. Now, that's the Tuesday night that we most of us that helped Spangle put on his school will arrive on Monday. So this will be in Branson. This will be live from Branson. We always have Spangle, Jessica on, and anyone else that's already arrived or is welcome to come in and be part of the show from the conference center right there in Branson. And the 2 nights later, we do the Thursday Night Live special presentation that we do every year. That will be during the school. There'll be action going on in the classroom, entertainment, all kinds of things planned for the Thursday night there at the school. And we'll be bringing a lot of that to you also. We'll have Santa Mel there. We'll have Scott. Uh, you know, AJ is going to be with us. Looking forward to having AJ on the show that night. So it's going to be fun, and a lot of our TNL family will be there. Also, want to mention real quick, and this is just tentative, but I do want to mention it. I was speaking with Mitch Allen this morning, and he just left us. He had to jump off and take care of some business, but he's probably going to be our featured guest for July 9th. That's one of the dates that's not listed here for the Tuesday Night Live show. He's got a lot of new stuff that's come up that he wants to talk about, his Google Calendar and some other things. So I told him, sure, let's bring you on and let's get real familiar with what Hire Santa does and get you in. So that looks like it's more than likely going to happen on the night.
he hires a lot of Santas, and you get connected with him and Jenny and all that, and you get in there Rolodex, and they got something in your area. They'll call you to see if you're available. They're not just only do big box stores; they do tons of stuff. Hire Santa, and they're such nice people. So it'll be good to have them on again. That'd be great.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And we also want to mention, we don't want to forget this, and this is very, very, very important that TNL Productions is expanding. We've got a lot of new stuff. When I mention it's been busy, it's been busy. We've got a lot of new stuff coming uh, into the TNL Production brand. And we want to mention that Santa's Magical Fellowship Group meets on Thursday nights. That's 6 p.m. Central. Is that correct, Randy? 7
Yes,
Eastern.
7 Eastern. Yes.
And Randy is part of that show. Him and most of the folks that you see from the maps is part of the show. This week, TNL, Scott, myself, I'm not sure if Spangle's going to be able to make it yet. Angela Mack is going to be on, but we're going to be on the show talking about some of the things that's upcoming for TNL. And we are now part of, and Mel has been part of Tuesday Night Live Productions for the last couple of years. You've seen her in Branson, you've seen her in Gatlinburg do remote stuff for us, but she's going to expand her role being in Michigan and going to go out and do remote stuff on location at some of the events that the Maps folks are going to be putting together here. So look forward to some of Mel's stuff that's going to be coming. We also want to mention that her show is now powered by TNL Productions. So that's great. We're all one great big family. We have been all along, but now we're kind of blending us all into make sure that we give you more coverage, more education, more fellowship, and all the good things that this community has to offer. And she's a big, big part of what we do. Again, we got some new shows coming up that we don't want to talk about yet. I'm just going to leave that as a teaser, but we got some real kickers working, let me tell you. So TNL Productions is on the move, and we're trying to up our game and give you more and more great content. Randy.
Wow. Fantastic. And it's just so much fun. I mean, it just like it gets you all wound up. Just think what's going on in the business. It's just you get a shot in that arm every week with all this stuff and seeing your friends. And so
Well, there was a need for what we do, and we saw that several years back that we had nothing like these shows on that was covering full coverage of the clause community, the events, the agents, the sponsors, vendors, exhibitors, whatever you want to call these folks that work hard to make the product that we use, that we depend on to do what we do. And TNL wants to be able to cover it all, and we're getting there, guys. It's been a slow growing process. We wish we were already to 1,000+ subscribers on both the Bob Randall and Company Live show YouTube channel and on the Tuesday Night Live channel. It's growing slow. It's not growing as fast as I thought it would. But if you know someone who has not subscribed, it costs nothing. It's free. All you do is hit the button. The other way that you can help, that's correct, it's free. The other way that you can help is comment over there on YouTube. Every time you comment, YouTube takes note of that. Every time you put a like, just give us a thumbs up. That's all it is. Click. It's done. Don't cost you anything. It doesn't uh, connect you in any way to anything other than you like what we were doing. And that also triggers the algorithms for YouTube. And all that stuff helps us build our brand, build our YouTube channel over there. And it's all about you guys. It's all about the vendors. It's all about the schools, the educational opportunities, the Santa and Mrs. Claus stories, your journey, where you've been, where you come from, where you're headed. All important to everyone in this community. And we are just so blessed to have such great people around us, part of our TNL family. Randy on Monday, I couldn't ask for a better co-host. There's no one in this industry I would rather work with on Monday, and we hope to continue to expand. Okay, enough rambling on about that. Do we have a winner for today's trivia, Angela? We don't.
No.
What are we missing?
Only one person played.
What's that?
Only one person put in an answer and it wasn't completely correct.
Wow. No winners, Randy.
uh-oh. Wow.
It's too many blanks and stuff.
Too many blanks and stuff.
Mhm.
All right. Let's make it simple. You ready, Randy?
I'm ready.
How many seasons has the Bob Randall and Company Live been on? First person to put that in there wins. How many seasons have we been on?
See if we get a quick answer. How many seasons?
Yeah, Mark Rector was the first one to throw it up. Is that correct,
Yep.
Angela?
Yes.
Okay, Mark Rector, you are our winner today. And let me read the original question. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm making it too hard. Sometimes I'm thinking I'm making it too easy. This was a great question, though. I really love this one because it was kind of a Christmas themed question. What country in 1922, that was the year we were looking for, 1922, used a marketing strategy slogan? Let's eat cake at Christmas. That was the slogan. Let's eat cake at Christmas. to start a long-running Christmas tradition. 50 years later, another company recognized the success that the first company had had so many years ago, 50 years ago, and started a new slogan campaign, Kentucky for Christmas, to add to the tradition. The company is Japan. Japanians, Japanese folks eat Kentucky Fried Chicken and strawberry shortcake for Christmas. That is their tradition. How cool is that?
Now I want some Kentucky Fried Chicken. Finger
Sponge
licking good.
cake, strawberries, and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wow.
So the answers there was 1922. Let's eat cake at Christmas for the first slogan. Kentucky for Christmas, the second slogan. The two companies, the first company that started Let's Eat Cake at Christmas, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this.
Yeah.
Fujiyaya. Fujiya? Well, I did try to attempt it. However that's pronounced, and then KFC. Okay, so Mark Rector, we'll get your name sent over to Wade Kaufman at santascloset.org and get you a gift coming. And we still want to give something away, even if you don't get the answer right. We'll make it easy.
They
3
got the next
seasons.
answer
Now, the
right.
Monday Show has been on 4 seasons. The first season was with Barry Cummins, who is deceased. Rest in peace, brother. But when we rebranded from the Bob and Barry Monday Show to the Bob and Randall and Company Show, we wanted to start off from square one. So 3 seasons is the correct answer. Charlie says he saw the Japanese reference when researching the trivia. You was close, Charlie, just not quite. Okay, Randy, are you ready to jump into Santa's tips? Boy, we have had a long show today. You ready?
Yeah, we'll do some switching on the Santa tips today. So, but bring it on. Let's do it.
You don't have
Let's
to do
have
that.
some fun.
We're still got a good audience with us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun anyway.
All right, let's go.
Believe me, I got things to talk about. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Santa's Tips. Thank you so much for joining me. We got a couple things like we kind of made reference earlier about is about being Santa-like. This came up actually. I was at Santa Ana U, and we did the oath. Of course, there's the Santa oath. There's the Mrs. Claus oath, and of course, there is an elf oath. And I'm sure, hopefully, everybody has signed the oath. These are actually ones that we did for MAPS at a MAPS wrap-up dinner a few years ago. I just printed these off real quick, signed it, and of course it's approved that you read them and everything else. But the Santa oath is really a powerful thing that, and I don't want to do this wrong, that was written many, many years ago that really keeps us centered on what we can do. And what is Santa like? Are we supposed to be Santa like all year? Are we supposed to be Santa like just in front of children? Are we supposed to be Santa like or Mrs. Claus like? And so it's kind of we have to be Santa like always in front of children. We can't lose our temper. We can't lose our cool. We can't lose our persona in front of children. We know as Randy, I'm, even if I'm bleached, you're a little different when you're with a family member or you're at a grocery store, and as long as there's no children there. But you still have to keep Santa like smoking and drinking and things like that. Is that really Santa like to smell like a cigarette going to a show, or having a couple of pops before because it's a long day and you're tired and you just need a little energy? None of that's really Santa like or Mrs. Claus like. So if you've taken the oath, the Santa oath, the Mrs. Claus oath, or the elf oath, reread it again. I know it's on, I'm sure you can find them somewhere again in the internet. If not, I can post them on the site, but read them again. What we signed to say what we will do and we promise to do as Santa and Mrs. Claus. Um, and the bottom line is really bringing joy to children and families, to make it a memorable event. That's what we really, really promise people to do, and to keep the love in the heart and everything else. Um, I was at the thing, and there was some children there, and a Santa was not a Santa and in his suit, but went a little crazy, yelling and everything else. And it's like, hmm, it definitely wasn't very Santa-like, and we don't want to leave that impression on the children. It's kind of can be confusing and devastating for a child. It's bad enough if they see a few of us at a restaurant, but then if you're drinking or if you're getting loud at a restaurant, that even makes it worse. We know we're not Santa or Mrs. Claus like. It's all about the children. It's all about the families. It's all about those warm, loving things that we are supposed to do. That's our responsibility. That's why we put on the red coat. That's why we put on the Mrs. Claus put on her veil or whatever, however she dresses, vintage. Um, that's our responsibility to do that. Even throughout the year, if we're donning the white beard all year long, we have to keep that. We have to keep that up. I don't want to preach, but take a look at the Santa Oath again. Read it again. I know pretty much everybody here has probably signed it, but take a look at it again, or an Elf Oath or Mrs. Claus. It was written many years ago, but it really is amazing. It really gets us back to the basics of what we do. So speaking of basics, what we do, let's do some magic. Let's do some magic. I'll do some quick. I kind of briefly showed this last week, but this is also something that I like to always have in my bag. It's the magic coloring book. Now this is a small one. This is a half size, not a full size, because you don't always need, if you're doing a house party, you don't really necessarily need a full coloring book. Now, of course, I'll tell you, Spangle's got a cool one. It's a magic coloring book that does "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," which is wonderful, and it's really cool because he's got the magic book and then just the book itself that you can actually read, because you can't read the magic book itself. But it's a wonderful trick for children. Just add some time. Of course, most of you know that it's all about. Oops, I gotta stand back a little bit. It's a coloring book. It's got all pictures of this is of the circus. It's a beautiful circus, and it's always good to get children involved, and especially at Christmas time, they've got gorgeous lights. They pick little lights off there and they throw it at their. Oh, excuse me! Don't throw it in the eye. Just throw it to the book if you don't mind. But you can get the children so involved, or an ornament, or off their clothes. Pick the red and throw it in onto the pages, and of course, everything is colored. We all know the trick. That's and of course then, oh, that's too much because I need to give this to another boy and girl, so I need to go erase. And of course everything, erased a little too much. But it's a great thing to have. It's self-working. There's no big magic to it. It's just something else to have, even if you're in a line at a big box store. Get up and do this and get people involved if they're waiting. It's a fun thing to have. It doesn't cost much money. Santa's not cutting somebody in half or making them float. It's just fun magic because everybody colors. And there's also a thing I'll show you in the film how to do if you wanted Mrs. Claus to do vanishing crayons that can do transfer the color instead. It's just something else to keep in your bag of tricks, no pun intended, to go to a house visit, to go anywhere that doesn't take up much room. And that's the kind of thing. We only have so much room in that bag, but you never know if we need to fill time. And that fills time with a little bit of magic and everything else. But check out the one that says "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It's very cool. Spangle's got it on his site. So thank you again as always. Please take a moment, read the oath again. Take a moment from Jim and Charles W. Howard that wrote it. Take a time to get back to the basics and remember who we are. so we don't like Bob was posting that question, things that bother you that you just can't talk about, and everything else. So thank you again so very, very much. Um, as always, you folks are amazing. You make our show and bring smiles to so many. Thank you. See you soon.
Great stuff, Randy. As always, man. Great stuff. Uh, just checking the comments, make sure there's nothing there that we missed. Doesn't look like it. So good job. I think right here, let's go ahead and jump into nightcap. Before we do, I just want to tell everyone the 12 Sleighs of Christmas. Great little book. It's a little bit longer. It's 40 pages total, cover to cover. And it's going to be one of those stories that if you get 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, would be a great book for that. Well, it's self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and run the video, and then we'll talk more about it on the other side. Fun book, really fun book.
That's
Great
cool.
illustrations. Pages are really easy to read, good to see, and I love the fact that they come up with all these clever ideas for a new sleigh. And I mean, there's some really cool stuff in there, and not only for boys but girls. I mean, you know, I think everybody would enjoy that portion of it. And then it falls back to the littlest elf, and he has been working secretly to redo the 500-year-old sleigh and pulls it out, and that's the winner. So fantastic job. I love that story. It's a great little story to tell. Like I said, if you got somewhere where you can read a book or tell a story, 5 to 7, maybe 8 minutes, depends on how much interaction you put in there. But a great book to have in your book bag. If you don't have it, check it out. If you want it, reach out and get it. It's available on Amazon, available in multiple places. So just reach out and grab it.
It's always
All right.
nice to have that variety of book that's 5 to 7 minutes with you, or that book that takes 3 minutes with you. It's always good to have a couple of each with you because you never know what the circumstance would be. You don't have to keep a whole library, just a couple of each. And it's you need to fill in a few more minutes. Boom! What a cool story.
Mark Rector has a good point. He says, how about books for Santa self-enrichment? Speaking of Cliff Snyder's Santa's Journey, Ed Bouchart's Red Suit Diaries, Cosgreen's Through Santa's Eyes. We mentioned Cosgreen last week on one of the two shows. I don't remember if it was here or on Tuesday, but they had a booth at Memphis ISC, and it was one of the more Busy booth. A lot of folks were drawn to that booth because of the story, the books, the coins that they give away. I don't have my coin with me. It was given to me as a gift at the ISC. I should have it, but I'll pull it out and bring it next week and show it. Beautiful, beautiful coin that they give away. So fantastic. Great job as always, Randy. We've run an hour and 40 minutes at this point, so long show. Thanks everyone for staying with us. I know we lost a few here in the last 15, 20 minutes. That happens. Folks have things to do, places to go, and we just appreciate everyone tuning in today. Derek Dugan has a trivia question he's going to submit for next week. So look forward to that. Be really cool, be fun. Got any final thoughts, Randy?
All I can say is thank you to everybody. Really, love you all, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Looking forward
guys.
to seeing you guys next week. Don't forget tomorrow night, Jeff McMullen, guys.
That's
Don't
right. That's
miss
right.
it. Gosh, just gonna be like,
Stay tuned because we got some really cool, new, exciting stuff coming for TNL Productions, and
you won't
I
believe
just
what's coming down the pipes. It's
really,
very,
really
very, very cool.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be a break from the norm, and we'll just give you more choices, and it's gonna be something I think everyone can get behind. Thank you guys for joining us. Check us out tomorrow night. See you back here next Monday. Later.
Bye. Love you all.